I don't usually share twice in one day, but I was out weed whacking, hence the snarfy shirt, and I got a couple thoughts that I think are worth sharing. One thing I was doing is the driveway here at Millie Wesley, and we just put a layer of stones on it yearish ago, and with the heavy rains, the stones, some of them have been washing into the yard. So I raked them back a couple times and filled in the mini trench that the water had made. And today, as I was getting ready to do it, I had this thought, and some of it comes from John. You remember in John, if you've been following along with that, Jesus talked about to the Samaritan woman that the Spirit would become a spring of water flowing out of the person that drank from what Jesus had to offer. And I got to thinking about that. Water has a mind of its own, right? It says, stones, you're in my way. I'm just going to push you out of the way into the grass. And I don't care how many times you rake it back, that's what I'm going to do. So this time, instead of raking it back and filling in the little gully that had been made, I raked them out and I lined the gully that the path the water seemed to be taking. And I wondered how many times as a Christian and as a pastor have I seen the Spirit in people, moving people a certain way, and said, no, that's not the way we do things. No, that's not what I want it to look like. No, not that direction. And the Spirit just says, no, I'm going to keep pushing the way I push, and I'm going to get this person to go. What you got to do, pastor, what you've got to do, discipler, what you've got to do, Christian friend who's farther along, is not try to straighten that person out, but to see what way the flow of the Spirit is going in that person's life, and then see how you can come alongside and support it and go with the flow of the Spirit. And that changes my priorities, right? Then I'm looking at a person and saying, okay, where's God working? How can I be sensitive? How can I get to know this brother or sister in Christ and see what God is doing in their lives so I can team up with that, so I can come alongside of it? So there's one thought. Well, I got that little job all done, and the grass down by the road needed to be weed whacked, and my podcast had run out, so I just put some music on. And since we use a lot of recorded music, I've got a ton of hymns in my playlist, some with people singing, a lot just accompaniment. So I'm singing along, weed whacking away. And I got to thinking that the one that I was listening to was a more, they're called militant hymns, like Onward Christian Soldiers, or We're Marching to Zion. Actually, I think that's what it was. I think We're Marching to Zion is what the song was. And we get uncomfortable with that kind of imagery of, Christian soldiers. And I may never march in the infantry, ride in the couch, shoot, I'm in the Lord's army, right? All that makes us uncomfortable. But then, all of a sudden, as I was thinking that and wondering about it, I flashed to something from 2 Kings study. There was this guy, Jehu, that God had appointed to take the place of the current king of Israel because he was way off base. So Jehu was supposed to take over. And a prophet is sent to anoint him to that effect, and he's heading for the capital city. Well, the current king, who's recuperating from a battle wound, looks out and says, okay, who's that coming? Well, I don't know. Well, are they friendly or not? Let's find out. So he sends out a soldier to Jehu. And the soldier asks him, says, hey, are you coming in peace? And Jehu says, what do you have to do with peace? You just fall in step with me. And the guy does. King sends a second messenger, same message. Do you come in peace? What have you to do with peace? Just jump in here and fall into step behind me. Now, as Christian soldiers, Christian representatives, we are marching to the beat of the kingdom of heaven. And we're marching to a goal, not to make peace with this fallen world. But when they send representatives to say, hey, what are you guys all about? Wesleyan? What does that mean? Are you some kind of a cult? Hey, no. We're to do with Jesus. Fall in behind us. To invite people to join the movement. To be part of God's kingdom come on the earth. I don't know if that was for anybody out there that might be listening, but you got into the mind of Pastor Ed. Scary place, isn't it? Welcome.